I'm shocked, and I'm also disappointed because the proper authorities investigated the Ohio incident and the South Florida incident and came to the determination there were not enough evidence to move forward. And somehow the NFL, which is an entertainment business, thinks they can do a better job than the police forces that were hired to do this investigation and turn whatever they find over to the district attorney. So I'm just disappointed that the NFL is this is all about optics. This is all about we're getting tough on domestic violence, and I get it. But you cannot go back and undo what went wrong in 2014. The Ray Rice incident happened, and you effed it up. The Greg Hardy incident happened, and you messed it up. The Adrian Peterson incident, it happened, Skip. You cannot go back and undo that.
Brown.
No. The fans got that one. Because even though they knew he had the incident at the Pro Bowl, that he came in so intoxicated that they had to move his wife and kids to a different hotel. They knew that and they took no action. John Mara, who's the co-owner of the Giants, knew all this information. He said John Brown told me that he had abused his wife, and he was so upset by that, he gave him a 2-year deal for $4 million. That's how upset John Mara, the co-owner of the Giants, was about this domestic abuse that was told to him. I'm just disappointed because I don't want the NFL to get into this kind of a business where they're investigating and they think they have more authority. And I guess you do, because when you sign that dotted line in a contract, you give the commissioner and the NFL a lot of powers over you. But I'm just disappointed, and if I'm Zeke, I'm looking to find me a good lawyer, because there are a lot of them around here. I think I might take I'm taking my case to D. Smith. You know how you spend all that money about Tom Brady and that deflated footballs?
True.
I need you to bring me some of that money, because I'm going to fight this.
I totally agree to a certain extent. It's definitely shocking, but at the same time and in the same breath, I can say I'm not shocked because the league has gotten it wrong before. We've heard Roger Goodell come out and report, I got it wrong in the Ray Rice incident. However, to your point, you can't go and rewrite what took place.
Right.
You can't undo it. You can't make it better. It is what it is. But moving forward, with everything that has transpired over our league, when it comes to domestic violence, we've seen the No More campaign. You have to stand behind that. You have to show your fans, your sponsors, that you are not going to allow this to be a part of who we are as a league, as a shield, as a member of someone who wears that shield on your uniform, who represents that shield, who we see a young player who's becoming one of the biggest faces in this league. You have to make a stance. And when we see what Roger Goodell and the league, their stance, even against Tom Brady, Deflategate, some of us look at it and say, well, they were trying to make an example and out of Tom Brady, and whatever the case may be. The point is, they're strickening up their structure because there has been too much of this kind of loosey-goosey going on to where players have been able to get away with so much off the field as far as conduct policy. And what I see is a league who is saying no more, simply no more. Yes, have the authorities done their job? Yes, but as a league, to make sure that they are putting out the best product and promoting what's best for their league and our league, this has to happen. A further investigation. I'm not shocked because of the instances that have taken place.
How could they find out something that the police couldn't?
It's not even about that. I don't even think it's about that for 1 minute. I think it's just to really show their fan base and their sponsors that, look, we're doing everything in our power, even beyond what has already taken place, because the sponsors aren't paying the police. They're not paying Ohio State police, and they're not invested there. But in this league, that's where they're invested. They want to know, what are you guys going to do about it?
I hear what you're saying. Maybe I'm not objective about what you're saying. I'm obviously, as everyone knows, a Cowboy fan. And in the end, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys has never been more outspoken in defending a player than he has this young man on these charges or these accusations. They're not charges, they're accusations. He has said again and again, very publicly, there's nothing there. And I've never heard him more outspoken because that's a pretty strong thing to say publicly if you're the owner of that franchise. It's getting into the Mara territory of you better be careful.
Right.
And Jerry's usually pretty careful about things like this. He doesn't look before he leaps. And to Shannon's point, the authorities in Columbus, Ohio, looked at this hard, said, no, we're out. No charges filed. In Fort Lauderdale, Florida, they looked hard, no charges filed. And usually the NFL has followed the lead of the justice system. Let's see what happens, and then we will mete out our punishment in accordance with what they do. So in this case, I'm pretty sure somebody in the league office, somebodies in the league office have decided there was something here. They just know there's something there. They can't really prove it. They just know something happened that was out of bounds. And because, as you point out, they've been shamed so many times in the recent past for underreacting to domestic violence cases, that in this case, they might be overreacting just to show.
Of it.
It's the optics, just to say, we have to step in. And by the way, Ezekiel has not done himself any favors in his time in Dallas because he has not shown a lot of maturity or contrition because it's been one little thing after another, such as on St. Patrick's Day up on the rooftop pulling the woman's blouse down. It's just we talk about optics, that's about the worst look you could have, especially when you're under fire here about what might or might not have happened. So, look, Adam Schefter reporting that it might be a game or two games. It's just a show of force, just to say, we did something here. We know something's going on. We're just going to, because this man has absolute power, man.
They gave it to him.
Yep, they gave it to him. And again, it's a big deal because we're talking about, again, it's not a big deal compared to domestic violence, but just on a simple football level, this has potential to be the game of the year on opening Sunday night at Jerry World. Giants, Cowboys.
Yep.
Wow, that's a big deal. If you take him out of that game, it's going to have an impact on that game and maybe on the season.